Welcome into the Eric Zane Show podcast, broadcasting from, as usual, the Impact Power Sports Studio. Thank you so much to Impact Power Sports for being on board with this show, making it happen. They are located in beautiful Rockford, Michigan, along 14 Mile Road. Go there, ATV, UTV, motorcycle, e-bike. Oh, my God. Golf cart, Michigan's newest distributor of Yamaha golf carts, and on and on and on. Brand new ownership, too. The multi-talented Mark is leading the team, and that is good news. Thank you for being part of the show and sponsoring this studio. All right. Trump blows up. Oh, my God. Not only was it a victory for Trump, it was like a slaughter. It's not, I mean, there's like no doubt. It hasn't yet been determined if this is what's described as a landslide victory, but boy, he is leading in all of these big states, these swing states that haven't yet finished tabulating. Like in the state of Michigan right now, I think 89 or 79% of the precincts have reported. And he is right now leading by 100,000 votes. So he will more than likely win Michigan. And so, you know, right now he already has enough electoral votes. He's already been declared the winner. And but now you're looking at the idea of all of those states. If he gets all of those electoral votes, that would mean that he would be winning by an even larger margin. And then, you know, fucking A. I mean, in other news, the sun rose today. And it's going to set tomorrow. So, you know. What can you do? Fucking more people came out and supported him, so that's how it goes. You live with it. And, you know, you hope he does a good job. I do. Why wouldn't I? I hope he does a great job. And when you earn the chance like that, when you earn the victory, which he did, you're getting no argument from me. You have no choice but to give him a shot, and in this case, another shot. Whatever. At the end of the day, I don't give a shit what he's done in the past. He's the guy. He's the big swinging dick for the next 4 years. So, you know, my advice to people who did not vote for Trump, like me, big deal. Okay, he won. I guess he's gonna do his thing. There's nothing, you know. I would be an idiot. I don't like Americans who then when something like this happens, they go out of their way to undermine. You know, I mean, they didn't do this, by the way. They didn't have the great attitude that I have after the last election. We all know this. After the last election, it was a huge pile of shit. All right, with all of the, no, he won, and then January 6th happened. You know, none of that, I hope, happens again. I hope that the losers, that would be people who voted for him, and the Democrats, take the L and go back to work. Don't be an asshole. That's how you got to live your life. You cannot just sit there and bitch about it. For the next 4 fucking years. Relax. You're going to be okay. I'm trying to explain this to my beloved daughter right now. She's like, oh my, she's at her wit's end. She's thinking that there's going to be all sorts of bad things that will come her way. And I can't say that I have enough knowledge in my pea brain to argue with her about these things. But being that she's gay and has a transgender boyfriend. She's concerned about living in the U.S. with that specter looming over her. So she's got more irons in the fire about this. She's got more to lose than I do. So I'm not going to sit around and just say, yeah, shut up. My only suggestion is breathe, and before you make any harsh, quick judgments, because right now she's like, fuck this shit. I'm going to Canada. I'm going to get married. She wants to get married right now while she still can, according to her, and then go to Canada. And I'm like, okay. My only recommendation that I can say to you as a dad is breathe and wait. And that's about as far as I'll say with anyone, you know, other than what I've said on this show about, hey, you know, the sun is going to rise. I mean, I can't tell you how to behave concerning this. And I wouldn't dream of that. All I can tell you is how I'm going to approach this myself. I cast my vote. My chick loses. Okay, pick up the pieces, and I'm going to move on. That's why I said the sun rose and the sun fucking set. But I'm not going to sit around and tell everybody how to feel. That's your thing. Tyler says, I've already alienated 2 people at work by simply saying you're going to be fine. Yeah, don't do that. Just shut up. You just got to shut up, okay? If people have a right to be wound up, they absolutely do. And if they want to voice their displeasure, by listening, you're helping these people. So just nod and go, my God, yeah, that was quite an upset. Or just kind of sidestep it. And if you're on the winning side, you might do a little gloating. I get it. To the victor goes the spoils. Heavy is the head that wears the crown. All that shit. I get it. But I don't know. I always it's like what's done is done. There's consequences to elections. And I think, in my opinion, being part of this system is outstanding. Now, yes, if we look back 4 years, the amount of bitching and moaning during this process, sure, it was ridiculous. But people who are on the losing side today are generally more intelligent than the ones who are on the winning side. The losers here are a better brand of people. Come on now. Most of the people who vote for Trump are hilljacks. They're dumb as fuck. And they have spoken, and the majority of them have made Donald Trump the 47th president of the United States. I hope he does a good job. There was an article that was published about this presidency is probably going to be a little bit different than the first one because you have the added element of revenge. Oh, okay. For whatever it is that he's fabricated in his own fucking brain, that is probably going to factor in to how he's running the country. So you might want to start wrapping your mind around that, ladies and gentlemen. Johnny B0 says, you're on drugs, Zane, lots of drugs. Corey says, I'm pretty scared of the revenge tour. Now, I'm not scared of the revenge tour, but I am interested in it. I am interested in seeing what happens here. I want to see what happens on that day when he gets those binders and he writes those executive orders. Remember 4 years ago when he did those executive orders? Was it 4 years ago? 8 years ago. Oh, my God. When he was like, all right, we're going to build this pipeline with our pipes and shit like that. So I think if you are an illegal immigrant in this country, I think number one, day one, I'm expecting there to be some waves being made. Ryan says, Big Fraud saying, imagine how full the bathrooms in Mar-a-Lago will be with documents soon. Well, there's a lot of benefit to being the president of the United States. And if Trump was going to get in any trouble about any legal issues he may have facing him, I think those are going to be kind of cast to the side. All right. Johnny says it's okay, easy if you take drugs, but you got to take the ones that make you have a positive outlook. Well, I mean, I did say I hope he does well. I don't have a bad attitude about anything. It's an election. It's not like I'm dying. I don't have the opinion, my own personal opinion, that any one president can come in and fuck me up on a personal level. I would never let that happen. So I don't know. I mean, if you want to start a fight with me, I don't know where that's coming from. I'm trying to provide a little levity on all of this. Listener Jason says Rich Eric will keep more of his money. Nick in the arena says, bring on the tax cuts. Linda says, yeah, I don't have a job right now. I'm scared shitless. Thank God I'm financially smart and have enough savings to live for a long time. Corey says, as white men, we will be fine, but with young daughters, I'm very concerned. There's been a lot of talk about that, about how this is like a blow against women. And a lot of this has to do with abortion laws in this country. But hasn't Trump said that in the case of rape and incest, he would allow abortion? I might just be speaking out of my ass. By the way, there was a bill in Texas, a law. They were trying to make it a law in Texas, one part of Texas, I swear to God. And it didn't pass, but they were trying to make it illegal in Texas for you to travel on certain roads to get out of state to get an abortion. So I'm not sure how that would work, but the idea was if you were traveling on a state highway to get out of Texas to go get an abortion, you were not allowed to do that. Which, my God, how would they know, Ryan says, or Patrick says, yes, Trump did say he believes in exceptions to abortions. He said that over and over. Ryan says President-elect Trump has been all over the board during the campaign on where he stands on abortion. No concrete answers, though. So I'm getting conflicting reports. At the end of the day, it's in the state's hands. Florida, for example, voted yesterday on the issue, and it lost. Molly says, once people start killing themselves, maybe America will wake the fuck up. Molly also said, and she paid for it so that I would say it, thank you. Why does someone that has mocked people below him, disabled people, and all kinds of people get to be president? I want an answer. Well, to me, this all goes back to everyone is allowed to vote, including assholes. And assholes voted for the biggest asshole. That's what happened. So now you live with it. We have 4 years of living with this asshole. And that's the way it goes. And I support the process. I support the process that assholes can vote for an asshole. Matt makes a great point. EZ mocks people all the time. Why aren't we pissed at him? Okay, yeah, that's true. I do. But I don't know. I mean, and I think that applies to Trump. I mean, you can't really split hairs on the deal. I would like to think that Trump, at the end of the day, is he might say horrible, hateful things in the setting of like a campaign rally like that, and perhaps there's a little bit of showmanship on this when he does it, and some people take that shit to heart. I would hope that the shit that Trump has said in the past, he really doesn't mean. And I know it sounds like I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt, but I mean, at the end of the day, you have to. Cole writes, if there's one thing Trump's good at, it's beating women in elections. Cole also adds 4 more years of enjoying all the TDS. I'm not sure what that means. Linda writes, fat fuck Cheeto needs a weight loss support group. Okay, she's lashing out. Jeremy adds, I'm most worried about the Supreme Court. It's already stacked with conservative justices, and Trump will likely have 2 more appointees, lifelong appointments to decide cases like union rights, voting rights, a whole myriad of things. Yes, that's true, but I don't suggest you worry about it. I'm here to try to keep you focused as well as entertain you, keep you focused on today. Let's not crystal ball it, because that never works. It's always a shit show when you do the crystal ball thing. Some Americans are actually experiencing real, genuine anxiety over this. I will say that this, I mean, for me, I was sound asleep, and I'll get back to your comments. Keep them coming. I enjoy reading your comments. You guys really provide a fun beacon of light on this show each and every day. For me, I tell you what, let's go back in the order that the things happen. 4:30, Pooh Bear's like, we gotta get to the polls. There's gonna be a lot of people there. I go, all right, no problem, let's go. And sure enough, there's a line, and we're all in line. We got our little tickets there, and the guy behind me, it's father and son. And son, I don't know what it is, but when you go into like you're waiting in line, for some reason it was like quiet as a church. Everybody's quiet and just looking at their phones. But of course, the guy behind me, dad and son is like, I'm going to have a conversation with dad, but I'm not going to, it's clear this is a quiet room. It's just, there's not a sound. Dad, did you see my new tennis racket? And so everything he says is like that fucking loud. And then I noticed that as we're just kind of like side-eyeing, I hear Dad go, like indicating, Like, Dad gets it. Just shut the fuck up for a minute, okay? Just clearly read the goddamn room. And so the kid is a little quieter then for a little bit. And then he's not again. I'm like, Jesus Christ. First election? Get in there. Do my voting. Cast my ballot. Away I go. Time for night-night. I wake up at, for me, this is how I looked at my phone and I got a notification because it wasn't until about 20 to 6 that the AP and CNN said Trump won. And I see the Senate, the U.S. Senate is red. The Senate has turned Republican. And I went, oh, no. Oh, boy. Okay. And the House is still up for grabs. So I was like, oh, my God. No way. There's no way. Then, an hour later, 3:20, I've got this rumbling in my tummy. As Pooh Bear used to say, rumbly in my tumbly. Something's the matter with me. This is bad. And I had this, like, I think this feels like it's going to take a while. And no shit, I was there on the throne for 50 minutes. Okay? And then I hear, Eric! I go, yeah, I'm having a problem. And really nothing's moving. Okay? That wasn't great. And so then a little bit of time passes. And before the shit hit the fan, literally, I see Pooh Bear after I saw that the Senate changed hands. I see the light from her phone. I go, what are you doing? She goes, I want to see who won. I go, don't bother. Just there's no results yet. Just I said it's gonna stress you out. She goes, I'm already stressed. And I go, no, I didn't have the heart to tell her that the Senate already changed hands and that Trump was probably gonna win because that's what I felt. But I didn't want to upset her. So then I'm in the bathroom. 50 minutes. And then finally at 4:20, an hour later, the dam breaks. And it was like I had a faucet coming out of my asshole. I don't know if it was going to bed and having one of the NFK's Jimmy Dean sausage croissants and washing it down with some chicken fries. It was my easy election night bar food, shit food special. But something caused an issue. I then went ahead and looked at my phone because it was time to get up at 20 to 6. They had announced that Trump won. Jeremy writes, no episode of the Easy Show podcast would be complete without an extremely graphic description of shit. Now, the next thing I'm going to tell you is one of the most horrific things I've ever experienced in my life. And it's very graphic. It's more shit talk. So I'm going to get rid of the folks on Facebook and YouTube now because I don't want everybody hearing this. I mean, I do, but I don't. If you want the rest of it, you're going to have to get it on Twitch. Twitch.tv/Eric Zane Live. I can just imagine like my stepdad or something like that watching this and me telling the next part of this story. So screw that.